Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we are here at E3 2019. This is the last day of the convention, but I've got lots of games to take a look at today. But let's wrap up some of the stuff that I looked at yesterday, starting with my visit with Nintendo. Let's get started with our rundown. Now, it's no secret that Nintendo had an incredible display of brand new titles for us with the new Nintendo Direct that they just showed. I got a chance to get some hands-on time yesterday with 4 of their big upcoming titles. Luigi's Mansion 3, which is made by Next Level Games in Vancouver, is incredible. It's absolutely beautiful. It looks like a cartoon that you're controlling, but it also feels like there's a lot more detail in the mechanics and a lot more to explore, a lot more to kind of make it a full-fleshed game, not unlike the 3DS game that Next Level did. That game was phenomenal, and I feel like this is, lots of extra horsepower, lots of extra toys that they can throw into the experience. It's going to be a blast. They haven't given us a release date yet, but I expect it's probably going to be Halloween 2019. It's going to do very well because it is absolutely beautiful. Coming up next month is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and I can't believe what a savvy business decision this was for Nintendo and for Marvel Games to kind of collaborate and get this thing all together. Everything just runs super, super fast, and the cel-shaded look of all of the heroes and the environments and stuff makes it look like you're watching, somebody flipping through comic pages super, super fast with all these different awesome characters. The roster was not full and not complete with what they showed off at E3, but it was already robust. Different Spider-Men, so you get the Peter Parker Spider-Man, the Miles Morales Spider-Man. It was just a blast to take control of these characters. I played in co-op play as well, which was really fun. So it's going to be one of these games where you're going to sit around on a couch with a bunch of your other Marvel friends, and you're going to have a great time. I can't wait. I hope it lives up to my expectations. And even though the Switch isn't getting the Avengers game from Crystal Dynamics, they've still got a lot of Marvel goodness on the way.
Keep fighting!
Now, I played a tiny little sliver of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it was really meant to show off the Dynamo scale, or I can't exactly remember what the name of it was, but the scaling up of the Pokemon critters that you're able to collect. They showed us a bunch of new ones. Don't ask me to remember what all these Pokemon characters are. I cannot remember them, but they're cute. One of them looked like a little corgi dog with an electric Pikachu tail, and then I grew that sucker up into this giant beast, and it was amazing. The effects are incredible, and it does feel like Game Freak is finally going to let loose and show off all of the artistic kind of ambition that they've wanted around the Pokemon franchise for a long time. Now they got the horsepower to do it, and I think they're going to knock our socks off. Now, the game that absolutely blew me away the most, and it's, because there's a lot of nostalgic pull here, I have to be honest, it's The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is the Game Boy reimagining for Nintendo Switch. Everything looks like a little plastic toy, and Link is adorable. All the characters that you meet are adorable. Even the bad guys that you got to kill. Adorable. But it's super fun and super accessible, and it was great to I didn't have enough to beat a dungeon or anything like that. I didn't have enough time for that, but I got to a dungeon and I made a potion, found my sword, and just felt amazing to explore Hyrule from this vantage point with this level of fidelity, these graphics. It's going to be a great, great experience. Now, I got a nice long, hour-long demo of Cyberpunk. This was a played demo, and there actually was a crash because it's still in early development. There's still a long way to go before we get this thing. Was not a pre-rendered deal at all. The graphics are still extraordinary, but this demo focused more on, showing off that this is a real game. So there was a lot of dialogue. There was a lot more, the psychological kind of dissection and trying to figure out the motives of different characters and whether you could trust people. It was a little slow, I have to be honest. There was some combat, there was some conflict, but it was more trying to show off the immense amount of choice that we're going to have in here. It really feels to me like a distillation of the dream of the Deus Ex franchise, with all of the modern horsepower and all of the learnings that the Witcher team and all of these incredible developers at CD Projekt Red have obtained over the years. They're building us something extraordinary, and the demo definitely underlined that, but it absolutely was not as exciting as the demo that we got last year. It's hard to surprise us twice, It's hard to come out of nowhere and surprise us like crazy twice.
In and out, bitches!
Now, the next big stuff that I checked out was the games at Ubisoft, and I got some good hands-on time with Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and I had a phenomenal time. You could feel like there was a lot more focus in the mission types and the character dialogue trees and the types of interactions that you were going to have. I saw a little bit of Bernthal's performance. It was amazing to play as a sniper and switch on all the night vision and thermal vision goggles and use drones and help out out my allies, jump into cars, jump into choppers. All of that stuff was crazy fun. Clearly, the Ubisoft Paris team and all the other teams working on this have had a lot of time to iterate and work with this engine, so it should be something really ridiculously enjoyable to play when it comes out later this year. A nice surprise was Roller Champions. Even though it was leaked a little bit before E3, we knew this was coming, and this is clearly Ubisoft's attempt to kind of get into the Rocket League space. But I'll tell you something, this game plays like something that's been around for a while. It's very tuned. And I was screaming when I got goals. I was going, no, when I got tackled at the last minute. I didn't even know the people I was playing with, and we were coming up with strategies. I was hanging back and protecting them and tackling people that were going to try to get the ball away from people. Don't be shocked if you become addicted to Roller Champions. Now, Watch Dogs Legion was the last hands-on demo that I got, and this is a crazy ambitious title. This is the opportunity to play as basically any character you see in London. The mechanics of that were actually fairly easy. You collect a whole bunch of people in your contact list, and then you can try to find ways to get access to them as part of the DedSec team. And then when they are on your team, you can choose to start any mission that you want with any one of the characters. Now, I did ask if you could set up each of the individual characters at a sort of the entry point or around the perimeter of some place that you're trying to break into, and then bounce back and forth between the different characters. And no, the game isn't set up to be like that. It's meant to be played like you choose a character and then you do your best to infiltrate an area. Now, I broke into New Scotland Yard as a 70-year-old grandmother, and it was hilarious. She had to climb up a wall, and it took forever for her to get over the wall, and then she was getting into the thing, like trying to run, but it was like, and she was getting shot, but she was surviving all of that stuff, and she had a zapper gun and stuff, but she completed the mission, and I felt like such a rock god when I got out of New Scotland Yard with my little granny, and she got into a giant police truck and just drove over everything and got away. I was like, what? This is insane. I can't wait to see it all come together and be finessed and finalized. This is one to definitely look out for in 2020.
Hello, darling.
Now, Kaname is doing some very cool things. They brought us the Castlevania collection not too long ago. They announced the Contra collection, which is available everywhere right now. I've got it on my Switch. I can't wait to play it tonight. But I got to check out Contra Rogue Core, and this is a new 3D Contra game where you can play as, like, you know, a mechanized sort of macho dude. You can play as this super fast samurai lady that's been merged with an alien, and she's got a sword through her gut with where the alien is. Or you can play as a bug that has like an English accent and loves tea. Or you can play as a giant panda that's got, you know, massive guns and weapons all around. They all have their own abilities. You can customize their weaponry and level them up. It's also a dual stick shooter. If you've watched EP for a while, you know how much I freaking love dual stick shooters. So it feels a little bit like Smash TV, a little bit like a Robotron. You enter into areas and you're shooting in every direction and running in another direction. And this is clearly different. You know, it's taking some liberties with the Contra formula, but I'm totally cool with it because the sensibility is there, the sense of humor is there, and the over-the-top violence is there. Got some hands-on and a great demo of Trine 4. We also shot an interview with one of the guys from Frozen Byte. This was delightful. This is an absolutely beautiful fairy tale-like experience with overgrown animals that you got to help and all kinds of cutesy narration and great, you know, voiceover work, beautiful music, crazy fun, and the puzzles and the challenges that they've crafted for us are awesome. And they're going to challenge the hell out of you. And as I was watching the demo, I'm like, is that the only way that you can do that? Or how long did it take you to figure out that you could do that? Because they're creating boxes and shooting, you know, lines that they can climb up on. Very much looking forward to Trine 4. Now, over in Funcom's meeting room, I checked out an adventure horror game called Moons of Madness. And you play this guy that's stuck on Mars, and all kinds of hell is breaking loose on the Mars station that he's on. He's trying to figure it out. He starts seeing some creepy things. Got a couple of jump scares, but they're trying to, I think, balance that out a little bit. They're not trying to like constantly be in your face. It's not always about the gore and the ah! It's more about like trying to psychologically get to the center of this big mystery, and it was cool. I really enjoyed navigating through the world of Moons of Madness.
Who would have thought?
Now, THQ Nordic is keeping up their tradition of trying to kind of shoot for the AA market out there, which I think is a smart move. They're bringing back Destroy All Humans, which actually looks quite nice. It was a great franchise when it was a vital one. I don't know how modern gamers are going to take to it, but it actually plays quite well, and the sense of humor and the sense of irreverence, that's all in play, and, you know, also all of the madness that you can put onto the Earthlings and the cows, those poor cows, in this game is actually really fun. I was super impressed by Desperados 3, which features some strategy mechanics and some stealth mechanics from a different vantage point, but it also felt very console-friendly for a game that was more about kind of thinking your way through situations. It's a lean-in type of experience. It looks like a PC game, but the mechanics have been tuned so that it plays just fine on a gamepad. Look out for Desperados 3. I think it's going to surprise you. And the Darksiders franchise is alive and well, so thank you for that, THQ Nordic. They've got a new game called Darksiders Genesis, which is more in vein of, a hack and slash action RPG like a Diablo, which I'm totally cool with. We don't get all of the third-person action-adventure mechanics that we've had in previous Darksiders games, but it's okay to switch it up. The universe of Darksiders is massive, and it's cool for us to be able to explore it from not only different camera perspectives, but different vantage points with different sort of moments in time in the whole mythology. This is going to be a lot of fun when it's all done. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for me with the rundown today. I've got more games to check out today, so stay tuned for a brand new rundown with lots of hands-on impressions tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, and play forever.